to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of amazing entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. With me I have Jeremy Jones, Jones Media Publishing.
That's right, Francisco. Honor to be here.
Well, and who is Claudia?
Claudia's my wife.
But where is she? Because your business card has your name and her name on it.
That's right.
And I'm like,
she is the co-founder. She is, the reason the company is together.
I was going to say she's probably the brains of the
brains
business,
of
right?
the operation, exactly.
Exactly. Behind the idea, behind the great man, there's always a greater woman. It's been that way since the beginning of time.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Awesome. You have a phenomenal business. You have just an incredible structure that I should say we're both members of alliances, and that's where I met you.
Right. Yep.
And when I heard your story, I heard what you're doing, it just blew my mind. And we've had similar companies, similar types of entrepreneurs that have come to the show that have something a little bit similar to what you do, but I think what you do is just number one.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a little bit of my background,
Sure.
and then how I got to where I'm doing today. So I have a military background. Okay. I was in the United States Navy from 1998 to 2002. I was stationed on an aircraft carrier, and while I was on the aircraft carrier, we were a part of the September 11th attack, and so I was a part of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Wow.
And so I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to start my own business, but having that a part of Operation Enduring Freedom has been a big part of pursuing freedom, having more freedom. I started working for a company after I graduated from college here in Phoenix. I came here and went to the Art Institute of Phoenix. So I'm an artist by trade. I'm starting to do freelance work, and I learned really quickly I didn't know anything about marketing, right? You can have a great service you provide, but if you don't know how to market yourself, what good is it? Correct. And so I hired professional coaches, I read a lot, and that's where the reading comes in too. I believe you can learn yourself new skills to enhance your ability and to enhance your business. And so the number one thing that I learned about that was adding value in advance. How can you provide value in advance to people without expecting anything in return? So what I did, similar to what you do here, is I started a show, because I started working with authors, speakers, and coaches, and one of the things that's most appealing to them, most thing that they want, is to take their message and share it with the world.
Sure.
So I started an online show that allows them to share their message with thousands of people. Okay. And so it turned into a referral mechanism for me where I could interview someone, promote them, and because of the difference it would make, they wanted to do business with me.
They find value in that they're coming to your show, and by telling their story, their business background, et cetera, then they feel as if they're not really hard selling anybody, but rather just like we're conversing right now,
sharing
just telling
their
story. And then that way, when they come out of the show, they go to their friend to say, you gotta meet this guy, you gotta go to the show. So that becomes a great referral.
Yeah, they would refer other authors and recommend people to be on the show because it was an added value to them.
Of course.
And as I worked with authors, speakers, and coaches, I found a lot of them had difficulty in the whole self-publishing process. Okay. If you're going to traditionally publish, you have to completely finish your book. It's completely done, then submit it to the publisher, and you wait this period of time before you get any feedback. Then they say, well, we don't like this, or maybe they reject it completely. And it's a very slow, very long process. Now, there's definitely a lot of advantages to it, but it's a very, very slow process. Okay. Self-publishing can be very difficult because you got to hire 8 or 10 different people for a lot of different services. So I see this challenge that people were going through. They had maybe one book, or they were thinking about a book, but they had lots of other great ideas for books that just needed to get out. So I formed a process called Your Book Blueprint, and it's basically assisted self-publishing. We give the 100% of the rights to the author, so they own 100% of the rights to it. They get all the royalties, and we're assisting them through the self-publishing process as early as, hey, I got this really cool idea or concept for a book, all the way from idea to publish in about 3 or 4 months.
And look, I think that the recognition and the cachet that comes in from putting in your resume that you are a published author.
Right.
And if you hit a certain level of sales, then you can say, number one in the Amazon sales, et cetera.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that too, because there's something that I didn't realize, what it takes to be, in the top seller of Amazon and so forth. But we'll talk about that. So that recognition, I think it's just phenomenal. It's a great investment. But like anything, like you said, let me point out that you can have a great book in the world, but if nobody knows about it, you're just an author with your family and friends holding a lot of copies of your book.
Yeah.
How do we promote that?
Yeah, so a lot of other, and there's another option that people have, it's called hybrid publishing. And normally what I've seen in that case is they help you self-publish, but they require you to purchase maybe 500 or 1,000 copies of the book. Okay. We don't do that. We do printing on demand. So if someone wants to start with 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 copies, they start with that. Then if they go to speak somewhere, they can order more copies that they need. And they're not, they don't suffer on the price. They get all the best pricing for print on demand. So that's one advantage to it. Another thing is, as you're printing and publishing these books, you have a lot of flexibility that if you need to add something to the book, you can actually adjust that because you don't have 500 copies.
Sure.
Right? So you said with the promotion of the book.
Right.
So because you can start out with a small amount of books and you can promote those on the way, what we do is we help authors outline a strategy that you can use to promote the book. I'll give you an example. So we have a first-time author that we went through this whole process, Your Book Blueprint. His name's Aaron Pearson. He had a lot of different ideas. He had content all over the place and just needed some direction. So we coached him and got him through the entire process. We got his book completely done, formatted, and we promoted him on Amazon. Within 12 hours, we got him to #1 bestseller on Amazon, right? Within 12 hours.
Amazing.
And just in the last week, he submitted a proposal to speak, and instead of an opportunity for a free speaking engagement, I believe he got a paid speaking engagement. So he's already landing speaking opportunities that will then promote him further.
Because now he can say, hey, look, I was in the the top of the sales list of Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a published author, and here I am. Why not hire me to speak at your event?
He's positioned, what I call it in this, there's a training that I have put together, and it's basically the credibility that brings affinity. And as we all know, if you've been in business for any period of time, people do business with you because they know you, like you, and trust you.
Sure.
And all of the credibility of an author having #1 bestsellers, it brings a new level of trust and credibility that speeds up the process.
Of course. And there's other thing too that I always wonder, all right, so what does it take to become a best-selling author?
Yeah,
right?
That's great.
So there's got to be a number of copies that you can sell within a period of time. What is that?
That's right, exactly, because he actually beat out the Lean Startup, the very popular book Lean Startup, Gary Vaynerchuk's book, a lot of other very popular authors. He beat them out. So it's basically a formula. Okay, so I'll share with the listeners here the formula to become a bestseller. It's basically a certain number of books based on your category that you sell within a window of time.
All right.
Okay, so what you can do is we have tools and research tools. So you can go based on the category of your book. So a couple of books we have here. This one is Jason Carrick, who we worked with. He teaches the benefits of youth sports. We actually got him to #1 bestseller as well. So what we did was we researched the categories on parenting, coaching, and youth sports. Okay, so we look at the categories, we look at the books, then we have some tools where we can determine how many books are being sold to be #1. And all you have to do is sell more copies than that person in a window of time.
That's cool.
It's not all the books total they've ever sold, it's within the window of time.
And that's how you become a bestseller.
And that's how you become a #1 best-selling author.
And you've got this algorithm down to a science, which is phenomenal. And, and that's the cool thing about it. There's another concept that you and I talked about is the co-author.
That's right. Yep.
And that is becoming a lot more popular nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. So people that have published a book before can then partner with people that are first-time authors that have really good content. And what we are doing right now is we're taking basically one topic, right? Having a variety of people that could contribute to a book to all bring credibility together. Right? And then so everyone contributes to the content of the book together, and then when all the people promote that same book, it benefits everyone. So again, it's a collaboration where everyone benefits.
You know what? I am seeing, I'm foreseeing the future right now. I'm reading the future, and I can see it in Fuego.
I can see it too.
Alumni,
Hey man, I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber to your show. I've watched a bunch of your shows. I haven't seen all of them, but you have got some fantastic guests on your show.
They're amazing stories.
Yep.
And I can tell you, and this is the other question that I asked you, and you could probably put 5 or 10 of these guests together, and they can all co-author into kind of linking their experience, their previous experience as entrepreneurs, and probably at the end of the book say, oh, by the way, if you want to see each one individually with their interviews, they'll probably just put it in there.
Yep,
Very powerful stuff.
You give each author credit, and because of the collaboration that's involved, everyone wins. It's a win-win.
Kids, reading is never going to go out of style.
That's right.
Is that right? I mean,
that's right. I love my Kindle device. I love the app, the Kindle app, but there's something about a paper book. I read a study recently where paper book sales were at the top, Kindle were catching up. Kindle actually, Amazon on Kindle passed. It surpassed, as everyone said, oh, paperback books are going to go out. Well, it's actually surpassing again, where paperback is becoming as popular or more popular because of the functionality of it. You just can't open up a Kindle device and jot notes, plus he's never run out of batteries. You know what I mean?
and you can take it to the beach, and it's nice to take it to the beach and just toss it.
Exactly.
And you take the sand off of it and all that stuff. And the other cool thing about what you do is that you can actually have an option of downloading the book at a much cheaper price, right? I mean,
that's right.
Just download here.
Because there's no hard cost, right? So with a paperback, there's a hard cost. So we've got some things we can do to reduce the cost of these books, because we can get these books printed for very, very low for the author. But yeah, absolutely. So this one right here, check out this one. You'll like this one. So this is an immigration attorney we did a book for, right? And he said half of my clients are English speaking, half are Spanish speaking. So he's like, can you do anything creative? So it's English here, Spanish here.
Muy bueno.
Magnifico. Look at this. Look at this.
This is so you can tailor make any book to whatever the needs of the author are.
And we focus on the marketing of it. It's so important that we focus on getting the most benefit from the book.
What's the best advice you're going to give entrepreneurs today?
Best entrepreneur advice I'd give for publishing a book, you mean?
For anything.
For anything. I would say, and I had a conversation with a client about this earlier, and they asked about, what should we change the title of the book? What should we do? The number one thing to consider for entrepreneurs is to think about what really matters most is the customer, is the client, right? So if you're going to put out a marketing message, and I read this in a book many, many years ago, is to enter the conversation that's already in the mind of your customer. So how can you add value to that customer in advance that's entering the conversation in their mind? And what do I mean about that? It's like youth sports. What's the conversation in their mind, the concerns, the injuries, all these different things, and you put out a marketing message that speaks to the things that are right on the top of the mind of the people you want to speak to, and you convey a message to those people, and that's how you capture attention, and then you can drive them to the book.
Jeremy Jones, man. I can see the hard copy entrepreneurs. I can see it right now, and I can also see the future that we're going to be doing a lot of business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great to be
appreciate it. With that, we're out.